Ruth Backlund from Energy Works Myofascial Release. Just wanted to talk a little bit about this morning when people tend to work out too much on the weekend. They're the weekend warrior syndrome. So as we're getting into our spring, early summer, we've got people who are starting to mow their lawns a lot more, starting to work in their gardens a lot more, or just trying to get a lot of that brush cleared that, you know, it's been collecting through the winter season. And so you know, as it gets nicer, people tend to work marathons on the weekend. So there's a couple stretches that I really like to do while I'm actually working out in my gardens. And it's something I do as a break, and that's a real critical piece, is that you don't just work and work and work, that you actually do take breaks. You drink a lot of water, you stay hydrated. You need to stretch a little bit because you're going to be really sore if you don't. So there's a couple stretches that I really like to do. It's good for your back because we tend to do a lot of leaning and pulling and dragging and things like that. So these are a couple really good stretches you can do at home. Do these as breaks in between what you're doing. They don't take that long, but you'll actually feel much better for it. So the first one is called a cat-cow, and there's a couple variations for it. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. I can't see too well on the camera here, so I'm hoping you can see well enough. But basically, you want to put your hands right underneath your shoulders. You want to put your knees right underneath your hips. And what you want to do is you want to inhale. So inhale. Exhale as you open up your belly. So you're bringing your tail towards the ceiling or the sky. You're bringing your head up. So you're really just mobilizing your back. You're rounding up, tucking your tail in, head down. Dropping your belly down, arching your back. Just a nice gentle stretch. So you want to do that anywhere from 5 to 10 times. You're really just trying to open things up, get things loose because you've been kind of cramped for a while. It just kind of gives your back and your shoulders a little bit of a break, opens things up. So that's what it would look like on the ground. Now, if you have a hard time with your knees, one of the things you can do, I can see some people are joining. I can't see who it is from this distance, but so one of the things you can do if your knees don't do very well, if you don't do well on your hands and knees on the floor, you could actually try it from your bed. A little softer on the knees, especially for those people who have a hard time getting up off the ground. That's a good way to do it. Another way to do this is actually to do it standing. So I'm going to try to stay in the frame here. Okay. So I'm bending my knees are nice and soft. Okay. And then what you want to do is you just want to tuck your pelvis and your head. The same thing, you're rounding out your back. You can arch it, sticking your butt out, head up. So nice soft knees, rounding. So you're stretching that all out. Okay, so you can do that several times as well. So the next thing I'd like to do, that's just loosening things up a little bit. The next thing I'd like to do is get a nice long stretch in there. And one of my favorites is the child pose. So the child pose, again, you want to start with your arms underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. You can go a little bit wider. I actually recommend you do because you can stretch your hips a little bit more. Put your toes together and then just let your body sink. So your butt sinks back into your feet. Then slowly walk your arms out as you let your body sink. In between your knees. Let your head relax. And then you just hang out here for a good 3 to 5 minutes. Really feel that stretch in your upper back, your torso. You might feel it in your hips. Wherever you're tight, you're going to feel this. If you don't feel much of a stretch, you can walk your fingers a little bit farther forward. You get more of a stretch underneath your lats, your upper back, your shoulders. And the longer you stay here, the more you're going to feel things loosen and where that stretch changes. So I hope that was helpful for you. So if you were a weekend warrior this weekend like I was, these are some stretches I did in between, and I feel great today, which is good. Couple areas I didn't stretch, I can tell I'm a little bit more tender in a couple spots, but that just goes with the territory of working, for many hours doing the same kind of thing. So, so again, stay hydrated, take breaks. These are some really good recovery stretches for you. If you did do a lot of work outside this weekend. So, if you have any questions, feel free to, drop a comment in there or reach out to me and we can talk about where you might be sore and what kind of stretches you might be able to do to recover from those. So, I'm signing off. I got to get back into the office and hope you have a good day.